almost all cultures in human history have based their relationships with the planet not on an extractive sense of it, but on a reciprocal sense of it. It's some variant of the very simple idea that the earth owes its bounty to people, but people owe their fidelity to the earth. Humans aren't the problem, we are the solution, because it's only through the human consciousness that the earth can become manifest. Now, the reason that's so important is it plays out in very concrete terms. If I'm raised, as you were raised, Aaron, to believe that a mountain is a pile of rock ready to be mined, we'll have a different relationship to it, and our society will have a profoundly different ecological footprint than my godchildren in the mountains of Peru, raised to believe that a mountain is an Apu deity that will direct their destiny. The First Nations of the coast of British Columbia, for example, the Kwakwaka'wakw, believed that the forest was the abode of Hukuk and the crooked beak of heaven and the Hamatsa spirits that would be embraced during the initiatory rites. Well, that gives them a different relationship than the way I was taught with the ideology of scientific forestry and sustained yield that said that those forests existed to be cut. And the consequences are profound. And so the existence of these other ways of being is not to suggest that any of us go to a pre-industrial past or that any people in the world be kept from the genius of modernity. It's simply to suggest humbly that our way is not the only way. And therefore, that allows us to put the lie to those of us in our own society who say that we cannot change when we all know we must change the fundamental way we inhabit the planet. So the issue isn't the traditional versus the modern. It's about what kind of world are we all going to move forward to in order to sustain human life on Earth. Look, for those one of the lessons of COVID, which was in a way the one sort of revelation in a positive sense, is we saw dramatically the fecundity of the Earth. I mean, the minute that industrial activities shut down, suddenly we saw the skies clearing over the Himalaya above Delhi. We saw the canals of Venice run clear, rivers running through cities like Medellin, Colombia, suddenly looking like trout streams. We saw, wild boar in the streets of Barcelona, caiman blackening the beaches of Baja, the rehabilitation of the city space by wild creatures. We saw how resilient the earth is, and it's a good thing to remember that if you took the entire history of the hominid lineage, I don't just mean Homo sapiens or our immediate progenitor Homo erectus, go all the way back to Homo afarensis at 2.3 million years ago, and you take that entire lineage and put it on a clock of the history of the world that runs only 24 hours, you'd find that the entire human presence on the history of the planet is less than 1 second. So, the weed will win in the end, but the question is whether the conditions of life will be such that we would want to bequeath them to our descendants. And that is the moral and ethical challenge of our day.